ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
गौरीनन्दन बालगजानन गौरीनन्दन बालगजानन गजवदना जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा।
जय जय गुरुदेवा साई महादेवा
माता पिता गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय 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 गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा
माता पिता गुरुदेवा श्री 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 साई महादेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा सुंदरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
सुंदरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
मन्दहासमुख शशिवदनी
हासमुख शशिवदनी
मन्दहासमुख शशिवदनी
हासमुख शशिवदनी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
चन्दन कुङ्कुम अलङ्कृतवदनी
चन्दन कुङ्कुम अलङ्कृतवदनी
चन्दन कुङ्कुम अलङ्कृतवदनी
चन्दन कुङ्कुम अलङ्कृतवदनी
साई महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
साई महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
साई महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
साई महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
सुन्दरवदनी सुगुणमनोहरी
महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
साई महेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति
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 ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति सुंदर वदनी सुगुण मनोहरी हे अनाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
नाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
हे अनाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
नाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
दिन दुख भंजन सहारा दो मुझे
जन सहारा दो मुझे
दिन दुख भंजन सहारा दो मुझे
दुख भंजन सहारा दो मुझे
ओ मेरे साई भगवान
ओ मेरे साई भगवान
ओ मेरे साई भगवान
ओ मेरे साई भगवान
हृदय मंदिर में आओ साई मेरे
मंदिर में आओ साई मेरे
हृदय मंदिर में आओ साई मेरे
मंदिर में आओ साई मेरे
दीजो कृपा वरदान
दीजो कृपा वरदान
दीजो कृपा वरदान
दीजो कृपा वरदान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
हे अनाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
नाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
तुम हो मेरे भगवान
दिन दुख भंजन सहारा दो मुझे
दुख भंजन सहारा दो मुझे
ओ मेरे साई भगवान तुम हो मेरे भगवान,
तुम हो मेरे भगवान।
हे अनाथ नाथ साई तुम हो अंतर्यामी।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
पराक्रम आंजनेय की जय,
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 पराक्रम आंजनेय की जय।
प्रतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
प्रतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय,
सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
पराक्रम आंजनेय 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 की जय।
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय,
पतिपुरी साईनाथ की जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। अयोध्या विहारी श्री राम राम रामा,
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 द्वारका विहारी श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण,
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 सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद,
सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद,
सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद
सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद
निज भक्त हृदय विहारी श्री साईनाथ देवा
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 अयोध्या विहारी श्री राम राम रामा
अयोध्या विहारी श्री राम राम रामा
द्वारका विहारी श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
द्वारका विहारी श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद
सप्तगिरि विहारी गोविंद गोविंद
निज भक्त हृदय विहारी श्री साईनाथ देवा
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 अयोध्या विहारी श्री राम राम रामा
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
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 गोविंद गोविंद 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 गोपाला
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
साई गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
साई गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
राधे गोविंद
गोपाला जय गोविन्द राधे गोपाला
राधे गोविन्द गोपाला जय गोविन्द राधे गोपाला
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
गोविन्द गोविन्द गोपाला
गोविन्द गोविन्द गोपाला
साई गोविन्द गोविन्द गोपाला
साई गोविन्द गोविन्द गोपाला
राधे गोविन्द गोपाला जय गोविन्द राधे गोपाला शिरडी निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
शिरडी निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
परती निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
परती निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
शिरडी निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
परती निवासा साई शंकरा
श्रीनिवासा साई शंकरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
भावातीता भावगोचरा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
कालातीता कालभैरवा
जय जगदीश्वर ओंकारेश्वर
ईश्वर ओंकारेश्वर
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 शिरडी निवासा साई शंकरा
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 प्रकट दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम। भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम। परम शांति सुख निदान दिय राम नाम। निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम। माता पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम। भक्त जन जीवन जन एक राम नाम। भक्त जन जीवन जन एक राम नाम। राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
And this eventually led to the June of 2003, when he had a fall, and then I was asked to see him. You know what happened after that he had an injury, and I was called. It was a Wednesday, the 4th of June, and I got a call from Mr. Sri Srinivasan. He said, we need you in Whitefield, start now. No time to ask questions, just come. So it was around maybe 3 or 3:30. I had almost finished my day's work, and I said, okay. I said, tell me what's happened so that I can come prepared mentally. He said, no, you just come. So I got into my car and was driving down here, and on the way I was told, Swami has not come out the whole of previous day. He's locked himself into the room, and now we come to know that he's fallen down and he's injured himself. We don't know what's wrong. He's refusing to see anybody. So we told him that he you could come and see. So knowing what it could be, I gave some on the way while driving. This was decided that we should have an X-ray done again in Trey Brindavan. We had everything done, and then I never imagined that it could be so simple to explain to Swami that he needs to be operated. I think whatever happened from that moment on was probably completely out of my control. It happened like I was treating any other normal patient. We got the X-ray done. The X-ray took some time because it had to be taken to the hospital to develop and bring back here. So then I took the X-ray. We had done some immediate measures to relieve him of his discomfort. And like any other patient, I showed him the X-ray. I said, you have a fracture, you need surgery. Then, like any other patient, he also asked me, is there no other option? Can you not put some bandage and treat me? I said, no, you can't. That's the only way you can walk quickly and get back to normalcy. Then he said, do something to overcome this pain. And then we put him on some traction and all that. And then he said, you go home. He packed me off. And then he said, you come tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock. Again, the same discussion, no option. He was a wonderful patient. He accepted what I said. Then I said, I told him, I said, whom shall we get to do the surgery for you? Then he says, very simple, like any other patient, do you do this surgery in general hospital on a regular basis? I said, yes, Swami, we do it. Then he paused for a moment and then said, what kind of operation? I described to him what needs to be done. And then again I asked him, I said, can we get somebody from anywhere? You tell me, within 24, 48 hours, we'll arrange for somebody. Then a straight question, can you not do it? I said, yes, I can do it. Then why do you want somebody else to do it? So, again, no option. Then, from then on, he went in rapid mode. When can you do it? How soon can you do it? Then we said, as soon as you give us the consent, we will do it for you. Then he said, okay, fine, go and arrange for it and come back and talk to me. Then the next question, you see, we want to treat Swami in probably the best environment that is possible. Which hospital? Because Swami was aware of Malya Hospital, Swami was aware of the super specialty hospital. There's nothing that he didn't know. And little did I expect that he would agree to get it done at the general hospital at Whitefield. He straight away said, Yenduku doubt general hospital cheyochu kada? I said, yes, Swami, it can be done there. Again, he went on to explain, if that hospital is good enough for my patients, it's good enough for me. So it was all done, arranged on one condition, that he's going to be brought back here the same night. And I'm not going to keep him in hospital. I knew it was possible, so we agreed, and then everything was done, and then he was brought back here, and when we reached back here, he said one thing. He said, "You're not going to go home until I tell you." I had come in nothing but what I wore. Of course, I could arrange for everything, so I continued to stay here for almost 7 to 8 weeks, trying to take care of him. And at the end of the day, I think that stay was more for my sake than for his sake. I learned a lot of lessons, especially in hospitality. How you should treat a guest. I got treated like a guest. Being treated like a guest by Swami for 3 meals a day is a difficult thing to do. I put on at least 5 kilograms at the end of that period. Because you sit with him and eat every meal, and everybody else keeps serving you because he tells them with his eyes. He doesn't even move his hands. And they simply come and put food into your plate. That's the way it works with Swami. It was enjoyable. I had a lot of satsang with some of the staff from the Vrindavan campus. Ravi Kumar, Nandagopal, Rajkumar, Gopinath. So we used to spend, after Swami went off to bed, I had a lot of time and I was barred from getting out of that door. So the only time I could come out of the door was early in the morning, when I would come out before he rose and try to get my joints a little supple by walking around in the garden behind here. For almost 4 weeks I never left Triya Vrindavan inside. The first time was when Swami came out himself. But until then I also didn't come out, because he had told me that. There was a reason for it. We'll come to it later. The first time Swami came out was when he came out to witness a drama by Balavika students of Texas. They had already arrived from the United States, from the state of Texas, about 300. And they had prepared a drama. And they wanted to perform in the Kalyan Mandap here in front of Swami. And since they were not able to do it, They were the one group of people who I was told sat in this hall and prayed for Swami's recovery for at least 4 to 6 hours a day, starting early in the morning. I was not aware because I was inside. And Swami mentioned it once and said, "Look at those people, how devoted they are." The next day, a whole bunch of get well cards came into the mandir. All of them were handcrafted by the children. And there were maybe about 60 or 70 of those. And Swami went through each one of them and was very emotional at the end. Then he sent word to them saying that I will see their drama. This must have been about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks down the surgery. Then he looks at me and says, "Poch na?" I said, "Swami, yes." "You're walking. If you want to go, we can go." "Nuvu pilchukopotava?" Profound statements, difficult to comprehend. I said, "Yes, Swami, I will take you." So that was the first time Swami left Trey Vrindavan and came out to this hall and witnessed the whole drama. Thereafter, he was very bothered continuously throughout that stay. He only wanted one thing. And that was the only thing he went on asking me also. He said, "When can I go for darshan? My devotees are waiting." So my answer to him always was, like any other patient, "Swami, you can walk from tomorrow after operation. I'll make you walk, but you will limp. If you want, we can go tomorrow." But I don't know if any of you have seen Swami in any other form other than immaculately dressed and groomed. He would never allow himself to be seen in any shoddy manner. He said, no, I cannot go in front of devotees limping. I must walk without a limp." I said, "Then you wait for some time. Or we'll go in the car." Then he said, no car, I want to walk. And finally, he decided to come in car because he was too restless. He wanted to be with his devotees. The happiness in the face of these devotees from Texas is seen if you see them photographs which have been taken, which I have with me even now. They were so happy. But he had still not decided to come for darshan because he was still limping. He won't come. And then one day he decided he has to see his students. He said, "I have to see my students." And the See, everything happens in complete control of him. There's nothing that he simply says. He never said anything which he didn't mean. When he said something, we all knew that there is something behind this. Because he told me a couple of days before the event, I want to see my students. Pillalan Chodala. So I said, Swami, we'll go for darshan anytime you want. You tell, we will organize it. He was restless. He was not sure he should go out and limping and all that. So then he said, he kept quiet. Then one day he comes and tells me, we are going to have a party in Trey Brindavan tomorrow. These are the words. So we're going to have a party for the students. Then I realized that the old students had made a request to Swami to come in for darshan. So he was mighty thrilled about it. He arranged a party for the students. And the party was in the afternoon at 3 o'clock or so. And like all parties Swami gave, every day was a party, of course. He had a sumptuous meal arranged at 3 in the afternoon. I'm sure some students who were there also have witnessed it. And he finished his lunch at around 1 o'clock. And I was sitting with him on that meal and, like always, got overfed. I ate to the brim and he made sure I ate more than required that day. I don't know why, but it happened. And when he mentioned about the party to the students, he said, I am giving a party to the students. Knowing Swami, nobody goes in uninvited to anything. It never happens. So after having been with him for some time, I said, he is giving a party to students, so I have no business in this. So we finished the heavy lunch and he went to rest. So I sat outside waiting for him to come back. And he came back at 5 minutes to 3 and he saw me waiting there and gave one smile and he walked into the lift and came down. That was the first time he came down from the first floor to the ground floor. No, that was the second time. He came for the drama also. Then he went and the party started with all the students sitting around and him being seated in the atrium of the Treb. And I was sitting upstairs because basically I thought I was not asked to come down. Not that I was waiting for an invitation, but it was etiquette not to go into something where you are not probably asked to go or invited. 10 minutes down the line, I got a message. So why you are not coming down? Then I went down, entering the hall from the side staircase. You go right in front of Swami. You have no option. You cannot enter from behind. You have to go in front. And the only place to sit was right opposite him in front, which I would have comfortably wanted to avoid that day. Then as soon as I sat there, he signaled Sri Narasimurthy Garu. And Narasimurthy Garu bought one big plate full of food in it and placed it in front of me, offered it to me. I said, no, I don't want to eat. Then he realized that I was in some kind of this thing and he took it away and went off. Then Swami saw me sitting empty-handed. Then he got a little angry with me. He signaled to me, eat something. So somebody else came and placed another plate of food. I had to eat that also. I ate. Then everything was over. Everybody was happy except me, because I was feeling like a stuffed pig. And we went up. He went up and I also went up. I was waiting for him to come out of the lift. And the first thing he says after seeing me in the first floor lobby is, "Nee tallo buddhi ledu." I said, "What happened?" Then he went on to explain, decency you should understand that in a group, you should do everything that everybody else is doing. Etiquette. Here was a lesson for me in etiquette. And he said, if you didn't want to eat anything, it didn't matter. You should just have the plate in your hand. He went on to explain all this. So I learned some lessons of etiquette with him there. A man of perfection, a God of perfection. In everything he did, there was nothing imperfect. He was restless to go back to Puttaparthi also. So finally, day came when we had to go to Puttaparthi, and he says, "You come with me to Puttaparthi also." So after about 6 to 7 weeks here, I went with him to Puttaparthi. I had the pleasure of accompanying him on the flight in a small aircraft where only 3-4 of us were there. Then I stayed at Puttaparthi, but there I stayed at home, and I used to mark my attendance from 5 in the morning till 6 in the evening. So that was also another wonderful experience at Puttaparthi. Again, I was not allowed to go into darshan. For 3 weeks that I stayed there, no, all my darshan was inside Purnachandra residence. He told me very clearly, don't go to the darshan ground. Usually in the afternoons, after a meal, he would sit around. Nobody would be there. I am not a very knowledgeable person in spiritual matters, so I had no questions to ask him. So I would also simply sit and watch him. He would read letters, and then suddenly turn around and say, "Yemi samacharam." I would turn around and say, "No samacharam, no news." Then he would raise the conversation. He would make conversation. Then for some time he started inviting a few students from the music college. This is something which is indicative of how perfect he is in everything he does. 3 music college students were invited to come to to Purnachandra residence of Swami every afternoon. And other than bhajans, I have no knowledge of music. So they would sing in front of Swami classical music. The first time I heard the word Tillana, I don't know what it meant before. Now I know it's a raga. He was very fond of that raga, Swami. Every day the same thing would be repeated. I was wondering why is Swami doing that? And he was such a wonderful instructor. He taught music to those boys with so much of attention and love. You would feel that when he is listening, he is probably not in this world, but He would stop them at the right time and tell them what is wrong and what is right. And he made them practice for about maybe 15 days or so, 12 days maybe. Then finally one day he said, I am very happy. You will sing during Onam. So he was preparing them to sing in the Sai Kulwant Hall on Onam day. So 3 days before he made this announcement, and then he says, next day he tells me, you arrange for some silk kurtas and pajamas for these boys. I want to see it tomorrow. This is the way Swami works. Tomorrow, he tells me in the afternoon today, and says, I want silk kurtas and pajamas for these boys tomorrow. And I'm not allowed to go shopping. Tell somebody to get it. I said, okay, Swami, I'll ask somebody from Bangalore to bring it. I said, I'll take measurements. I took measurements of all the boys. I said, I'll arrange it for you tomorrow. By tomorrow, it will be here. Then by that time, some of the others who were there, Dilip and Satyajit and all that, they all somehow went locally and found some kurtas and pajamas and brought it the next morning. Next morning it was there. He made them wear it. He made the boys for the practice next day. He made them wear the kurta pajama. It was like a fashion show. He made them walk. He made them stand in the middle, went around them, inspected from every angle to see that they are perfect. Then one pajama did not have the lada in it. So the boy had made a knot and it was kind of protruding in front. He touched that and said, what happened? Lada is not there. Then he said, we'll arrange for lada now. So next, on the day of the Onam, they were all told, you take this dress, make sure it fits you properly, wash it, iron it. And they all came back 6 in the morning with those dresses. He said, don't wear it and come here and wear it. They wore it there. And he was very happy with the appearance. And then he suddenly wanted something. I didn't hear what it was, but he gave some instructions to Satyajit. 15 minutes later, a whole bag full of Rudraksha malas came. Huge Rudraksha malas, all big ones. And he picked out 3 from that bag and put it around the necks of these 3 boys. They were so embarrassed. I couldn't help laugh how embarrassed they were. And one of them quietly put it inside the kurta. Swami went to him immediately and said, hey, no, you must remove it, put it outside. Then he got them ready for the morning program, music program, and he walked with them. He made them walk with him. I also walked the day with him. He was in the cart, of course, golf cart, and when he came back, he was so pleased with the whole thing. See, this is the kind of perfection that he showed in everything he did. There was nothing imperfect. And anybody who has been closely associated with him cannot be anything but perfect. At least there has to be an attempt.
सिद्धबुद्ध तु स्कन्द विनायक सविता पावक तु ब्रह्ममस्द तु यज्ञशक्ति तु येषु पिता प्रभु तु रुद्र विष्णु तु रामकृष्ण तु रहीमता तु वासुदेव गो विश्वरूप तु चिदानन्द हरि तु अद्वितीय तु अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिङ्ग शिव तु आत्मलिङ्ग शिव तु आत्मलिङ्ग शिव तु
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपदान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्रशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी हो साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा महाराज की